Hi, this is Self-Discovery Support. Today we're going to do an all signs reading, and it's going to be the same, short readings for each zodiac sign. I'm trying to find a shape for this reading that kind of makes sense and works for you. And so we're going to start with, we're going to do it by elements. Okay, so please remember that tarot is also not a prescription. So nothing that happens here is going to dictate what happens in your life, but also that the purpose of these readings is really so that we can use this energetic information to make the changes for better in our lives. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna start with okay, I see air signs. All right, so that means we're gonna start with Libra. Alright, Libra, so your main energy comes out as Six of Wands with the moon in hidden. So this kind of feels like an uncertainty about whether you will have the success that you want in life. It could be, I think there could be a situation here where because you're trying to be successful, or because there's a lack of certainty about it, there is a kind of holding back. Holding back, and then for some it's kind of like clinging on to something. I do feel like a lot of like fear and resistance here. Will there be success in a situation? Maybe will I have success? Will something come to me in the right time? Now this could be in relation to someone else, and the thing about that is that we can't really control those things. And I do see that if you're dealing with someone that you are cautious about, you're reserved about, because there is a history of hurt or anything like that, that I could see why you would want to do that until you know more information. That's true. It's not good to act until we are sure, but then sometimes we can induce that kind of sense of unknowing in ourselves because we are fearful of actually maybe even being successful in a situation, right? So sometimes we don't pursue the dreams that we want because we might actually be successful, right? And I'm saying that because we have the moon and the Ace of Pentacles here, right? This is uncertainty about whether you will have success, whether things will go your way. And so the Hangman energy is like, let's maybe not act on this. Let's not move things forward. The advice for you, which is it changes for better, is the Three of Wands, and that talks about perhaps it's a time to maybe release things and let things go, in terms of let what will happen. So what will come to you comes to you, and when it comes, you welcome it, like facing optimistically the future. This person is with the butterfly wings and looking straight into the sun. It's like, I'm ready. There's a kind of like dropping of guard so that you can actually have energies flow, even if this is in a situation, a connection, a relationship, whatever it is. you do have to kind of have an openness to it and a pause to allow things in. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Libra. We're going to move on to Aquarius. Alright, Aquarius, so we have Page of Swords here. Now, this feels like you are maybe a little bit watchful about a situation. Maybe it's something that you want to heal, and it's like making a choice here. I do feel like this could be a situation. Actually, you're connecting to someone that is really important to you, is what I'm seeing here. And there's like a choice to be made. It's actually a choice of, do I choose to work on this? Yeah, it kind of feels like a revitalization, like slowly tiptoeing back together in a way. Because I think there's a kind of sense that, you know, it's important to you, whatever this situation is. And I think you've come into some kind of understanding that maybe it's something that you desire. It's something that maybe ended, but you feel like with the star here, this is your energy. It could be, there's Gemini and Virgo and Scorpio involved here. So, you know, like, what's the choice that you make for yourself? Because I do see there's something that you realize is important, and perhaps you're realizing that with some actual effort on your part, it could work. No, and it could actually be elevated to this, you know, we have the Lovers card here at the front. So, important things happening for you, Aquarius. Now, the changes for better for you is the Five of Cups. So, how can Five of Cups be the better? I think it has to do with acknowledging the regrets that we had in the past, the things that we wish, you know, when you look back at this situation, you think, I would have done that differently. You know, maybe at the time when you're mourning, I wish I'd done those things differently. It's really important to bear that in mind, to forgive yourself for that, forgive the other person, and even to just release those kind of negative ideas looking back in the past, and embrace what's actually possible in the present and move forward. And I know that sounds easier than me saying it, but you know, there's all sorts of tools out there. There's people that can help you with that, and I always talk about journaling as a major thing. So Aquarius, this is going to be your reading for now. Thank you. We're gonna move on to Gemini. Alright, Gemini, there is some major energy here for you. Have strength. Leo energy here. And the Queen of Cups. To me, this feels like the strength to feel feelings, the strength to express feelings. Yeah, and also to be in that, to tap into that type of space of being, we have temperance as your main energy. So this is really a process. It feels like a process for you of coming to a state of like alignment and calm. I do feel like you've overcome a lot of things, and I think you're doing this, you're embracing this willfully. I also think that there's somebody here, there's a lot of Leo energy, Scorpio energy, Sagittarius, yeah, maybe even Aries as well. But I think there's somebody here that you are maybe connected to, that you're just kind of, you're patiently waiting. And I don't know if you're waiting on them, but you're just waiting on yourself to come to a kind of calm, to come to a kind of equilibrium, you know. So it doesn't have to be about waiting on someone, but it's like, yeah, I think you're not interested in anything that's going to be uprooting you. And because the Tower is here as you changes for better, it does feel like addressing this issue that's between you two. There's something major that shifted or needs to shift for you to kind of come into a different space with this person. And even for yourself, right? It's like there's some big shifts you have to make in relation to others. I think you might have to lead the charge in that with this King of Wands here. But I do see that is actually it's pulling out new things in you. And I also think like there's something about compassionate energy here. So Gemini, this is what I have for you right now, and I hope this helped. I'm gonna move on to, we have earth signs. Okay, this is going to be for Capricorn. Alright, Capricorn, so we have for you the Three of Swords as the main energy for you. Eight of Pentacles. I think you could be in a space where you are coming to terms with some deep feelings, some difficult feelings. And I do think it's like, I think that something dramatic has happened fairly recently. Could be certain realizations, and I do think that with the Eight of Pentacles and Knight of Cups, it could feel like wanting to work on the way that you express care for someone or a situation here. It's like wanting to actually put some work into that. It feels like a renewal, but this Tower has kind of triggered energy to get up and maybe to really work on the way that you show up. Yeah. I think that, you know, none of this is like a blame thing. It's like sometimes we can get preoccupied in life, and with the Eight of Pentacles, it feels like you could have been quite preoccupied with getting a lot of other things to function in your life, which is, you know, it's very Capricorn trait, pushing ahead. And there's something here that was just like quite dramatic and shocking. You felt this to your core, and now it's time to almost, yeah, I feel like for some of you as well, it's like working on your purpose, your soul's mission, your love, in terms of like what you love to do in life. No, changes for better for you has the High Priestess. This is a very still energy. It's very connected to your intuition. It's for all of this to help move you out of that other space that you're in. It could potentially be to really connect to the inner self, connect to the spiritual self. But that spiritual idea is not an external thing. It's you. In terms of what you're being advised to connect to, it's the internal spiritual, or the internal connection to the spiritual, I think is going to be really useful for you. And if you need to take time to like just be still, be quiet, to slow down, which is hard for Capricorn, I understand, but I think that's what's being advised right now, is just a period of pause, absorbing and listening to yourself, listening to what you're receiving, and I think that's going to be really helpful. All right, Capricorn, so this was your reading. We're going to move on to Taurus. Ooh, Taurus, you have such a interesting reading here, and more than interesting, it's just amazing. It's the Empress is right at the middle, Ace of Swords to the left, Queen of Cups to the right, and in your hidden energy we have the Ten of Pentacles, and we also have Justice. Yeah. Now, okay. So this is significant because I just feel like right now you're quite clear, you're quite focused on something. I think there's a lot of feeling that you want stability and you're building that, and I feel like whatever you're doing now, your actions are focused and trained on, I want to build roots, I want to build my legacy, I want a home, I want all of that. And I can see that Taurus would be interested in this because this is your place of comfort, right? This is where you feel at home and yourself. The Empress is a Taurian energy, that's why I'm saying I feel like it's a real clarity that you have to kind of build your own kind of worth and self, and I think you're already there actually. I think you're feeling quite good, open, you might actually be getting a few offers or catching some eyes at this point. I don't know, I feel to say that, but yeah, because you're right at the center of this reading, and it's just you're quite clear where you stand and where people stand in relation to you and what you're doing in life and how valuable that is. The changes for better that I'm seeing for you is Queen of Cups. Okay, so there's something here about getting in touch with your emotions, because that is going to be really useful for that Ten of Pentacles Justice energy, which is balancing out your stable, especially your home space. I don't know why I feel like there's a kind of preparation for an open heart, especially with this Empress. Maybe you don't know yet, or maybe you feel it with that Ace of Swords. It's like feeling like something is on the horizon that's about to happen for you. It's going to right some wrongs that were in your life. Yeah. And in the meantime, it's just keep working on yourself, get in touch with your feelings so that you can be open and sensitive to what comes in. Okay, Taurus, this is what I had for you. Let's move on to Virgo. Virgo, okay, you are doing well, and if you're not doing well, things are about to change for you that are going to take you in a different direction. You have the Six of Wands as your main energy, Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Wands here. So it's all wands. You could be Virgos that have a strong fiery placement in your chart, so Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius in your chart. But also see the Fool here. This is Aquarian and also Aries energy, depends on which side you look at. But with this Fool energy and the Wheel of Fortune right behind it, and Death, it's really signaling that you are at a point where it's like you know that you have to close some doors in your life, because I think you don't want something that is going to hamper you anymore. And I think you're actively trying to change the course of your life. You're trying to change it from the inside out. Actually, I don't even think it's from the inside out anymore, because Virgo is quite known for that inside out energy, hermit energy. But I really feel like you're going out into the world and you're doing things now. This is a very that's why the wands are here. This is very like out in the world energy. I'm going to achieve some things, and I'm convinced that I'm going to win, is like what I hear Virgo saying. And I don't even think it's like a fight. It's just like a natural manifestation here. I just think you're ready for changes. When that happens, it tends to signal to me that you're coming through a period of either being quite stuck or going through a really difficult phase. And for you, Virgo, I just think that you're ready for new. And also I think it's like ready to stop being cautious about life, and like you're ready for the win. So that already takes you into a place of like it's going to come, right? You just have to change your mindset first. Your changes for better is Nine of Wands. No. Okay. That to me does feel very appropriate for Virgo, because the thing here is it's a message about setting down any kind of, I think there's anything that you've been going at for a long time, and it's like it doesn't seem to be getting where you want in good time. Anything that's draining you, anything that's wearing on you, I think it's a time to I think the universe is saying put that aside for now. With that Death card, there's endings that need to happen for you. Things need to transform. This kind of, if it's like long suffering, is not, it's not for you anymore, right? It's the Six of Wands energy that is for you. The Fool is light. The Fool does not have a care in the world, and I think that's where you're being led. Yeah. So that's what I have for you, Virgo. Yeah. We're going to move on to water signs. All right, so we're doing water signs, and I'm going to start with Cancer. All right, Cancel. So you have the Knight of Swords as your main energy. So okay, it kind of feels like you want to say there's a communication that you want to have. It could also feel like taking action on something that it feels like you've been waiting on some kind of response, or yeah, it's like it almost is like restraining yourself, holding back from, you really want to say something, you really want to take some action out there, but you kind of hold back. Why? Queen of Cups in your hidden energy. This is Cancerian energy. I think you're wanting to, okay, how do I explain that? I think you know that you are quite attached or connected to someone whenever you have those type of feelings that come up, and you can feel quite hurt quite easily, and that feels like the Knight of Swords energy. I do feel like what you feel like is best for you right now is probably you're trying to learn independence or self-reliance. It feels like that's kind of what I'm seeing here with this Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, it feels like you are practicing or training how to hold love, hold feeling in your heart, but not always have to act on it. That's kind of, yeah, okay, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, and that kind of tells me that you gotten to a point in a situation then with somebody where acting naturally is not the thing that's called for, which can seem to point to behaviors that need to change, being taken for granted, people who maybe you feel don't deserve this anymore, or people who you do that with and it leads to hurt or neglect or something like that. That's kind of what I'm reading, because this Knight of Swords is really hurt, you know. This Knight of Swords has a lot to say, and maybe your natural impulse is like more anxious, which is like let's go towards this thing and try to resolve it. But I feel like you're learning to kind of wait in place, to feel hopeful and secure that this will happen in time, this will come to me when it's time. Also, your changes for better card is Strength. So I do think that kind of confirms and supports what you're doing, which is, yeah, I think this is like maybe you getting to a different stage, acting in a way that doesn't seem natural to you, but I think you know that it's probably a more mature or a better way to go about things for your benefit. And so I do think that you're being supported in like doing this. Like, continue to hold strong your self-worth, your boundaries, your values. Those are the things. Even if we feel the Queen of Cups is like activated, you know, in a situation for someone, you want to offer support, you want to do all of these things, I don't think that is what's going to be in your highest good right now. So Cancer, this is your reading. I'm gonna move on to Scorpio. Ooh, Scorpio. Okay. So some of you could be dealing with a Virgo, a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aquarius, Taurus, Aries. Yeah, okay. So Scorpio, I think right now you're taking the time to kind of revise or review something here, which I think that's an amazing approach. And I do think that this has to do with the types of beliefs that you have, or the foundation that you've built a lot of your ideas on, with the Hierophant here. For some of you, you might be seeking out mentorship advice. Even something like watching this type of reading is something that would be useful to you. Yeah, it kind of feels like it's something that's happened. It's clear to me that either something or many things have happened, or you're coming through a period of time where a lot of energy has kind of been stirred up, and it's that kind of typical Scorpionic time where you need to kind of withdraw to kind of process emotions, and it's in relation to King of Wands. So either for some of you, you're doing big things out in the world, but it's like needing to make sure that you have that time, that internal time to process things, to kind of balance your energies. The other thing I'm seeing here is this could be someone that you are maybe withdrawn from. You're kind of assessing things. What do I do? Maybe for you, there are some actions that you feel like you could take, but you are kind of really thinking about this before you take certain actions, which I always think that's good, to be aware. Self-awareness is exactly this, not just kind of acting on, I want to do this, I want to achieve this. So in other words, what you want, but to be reflective about those things. So I do think this could be a useful time for you. For some of you, it has to do with somebody that you're like in a commitment with, right? Seeing the difficulty of a situation with this Ace of Swords and Nine of Wands. Oh, my camera shifted. Okay. Okay, so it's the Ace of Swords and Nine of Wands that is pulling me to this. So your changes for better, Scorpio, is the Fool, which is sometimes we can withdraw a lot, and yes, that time is needed. That time is needed to process things, as we have gone over, but sometimes there is a new beginning that is able to happen, or a clarity of feeling, clearing things up by just kind of going at things again, having a new start. That's possible. So like clearing up energies by releasing energies so you can flow forward is kind of what I'm seeing here. The Hierophant keeps you stuck. The Hierophant keeps you like rooted in certain beliefs, and it's just like questioning those things. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio. We're going to move on now to Pisces. Hi Pisces. Okay, so you have an interesting reading, one that's, I can't wait to get into this. Let me just like fix this camera. Okay, you have the King of Cups as your main energy, so that's kind of appropriate. Pisces is the emotional zodiac, the one that is, apart from Scorpio and Cancer, which are your fellow water signs. This is that right here. Now, what's interesting about what you have going on is King of Cups on one side, Queen Queen of Cups on the other side. So, and this is kind of facing someone who is like you, a kind of like-minded energy. This is also looking at potentially a pairing. No, there is something a little bit different here. So King of Cups is being in a kind of emotionally balanced heart space. You could be feeling quite good, but quite actually open to emotional expression, offering emotional support as well to others. You could be feeling quite balanced, maybe a little bit balanced more than you have felt in a while. There's also something here about like feeling open to opportunities, maybe even feeling like you've identified someone here. Two of Wands is indicating like an intention. So it kind of feels like, okay, I'm seeing the possibilities for myself as a Piscean, and it's like preparation for that. It's kind of like, okay, I see something. We have 9 of Pentacles and the 4 of Wands. For me, this kind of feels like going from a very, maybe for some of you, going from a very single life, going from a life that is, you're okay, you're taken care of, you've sorted that part out. But now it could be looking like, okay, you might like to go towards someone in particular. You might like to go to a state of commitment, coming together with someone. I kind of feel like 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles kind of feels like missing out. So okay, this could be particularly focused on Pisces who are single, because it feels like missing out on either being with the particular person that you want to be with, or just even being in a relationship that's functional. And it does feel like that is the choice that you might be wanting to make right now, to give to something that feels better, feels good, feels nurturing, feels abundant. Yeah. The changes for better that I'm seeing for you, Queen of Cups, is actually to find the person that matches your energy. Is going to be a good kind of tip for you. Is, I almost feel like the way this is positioned, this King of Cups is not seeing the Queen of Cups at all. Everybody's looking at the back of his head, and it's like you probably don't see the person that is actually a good possibility for you. So that's kind of something to put in there in your brain, is to think, is there somebody I'm overlooking, and why? Because you may have a kind of idea about what should be happening for you, or even focused on something or someone else, and it's like, are you really seeing this? And yeah, but anyway, it seems like Pisces is on the verge of new connection, reconnection, pursuing connection that you wanted to. Yeah. So I think also it might be like a time of like seeing that somebody actually that you thought wasn't interested is actually interested. So this is what I have for you, Pisces. We're gonna move on to fire signs now. Okay, we're gonna do Aries. I was gonna say Leo, but we're gonna do Aries. All right, Aries. So first of all, you could be either having Scorpio in your chart or relating to a Scorpio, because King of Wands came out centrally for Scorpio as well. And you can like look back in the time to see what is there. All right, so Ace of Swords here. Ooh, Ace of Swords and the Empress. All right, Aries, there's like some strong recognition here. It feels like you understand something now, that you are, at least it's like knowing. I don't see the action yet. I don't fully see the action yet, but I see the knowing, and I see the decision making, and I see the kind of maturity of both decision, thought, action coming into play for you. So it feels like deciding on someone in your life. It feels like deciding on a path. Queen of Cups here. Yep. This is like, I understand the way that I'm going to take. And there's, okay, now we've seen the action. Ace of Pentacles with a Chariot. This is clear. Okay, there is some doubt underneath this, the moon. And I think that there is like, okay, you don't know everything about this situation. You have some fears. What could happen? And the issue really is, it comes over the King of Cups, is if I did all of this, I won't know what will happen. And you know, Aries is connected to the Emperor card, which really does want to know and control the situation. You want to know that something's possible. If you work on it, it's going to happen. The moon and King of Cups. This is feelings. Not sure where these feelings are going to go, but I see that the mind is made up. There's so absolute clarity that, okay, this is the direction I want to go in with this person. King of Wands is your main energy. This is your energy. So it's like feeling quite self-possessed, which is confident, right? It's bold, it's brave, it's yourself, it's authentic. And you know what you want, you know where you're going, you know how to get it as well. King of Swords is here. So there's like strong decision making happening as well. I've decided I'm going to take these actions. This is how I'm going to do it. So there's like, you know, a really strong, mature sense about it, which is like great to see. You know, it's like, it really is that Emperor energy. It's like, I'm deciding this is what's going to happen. All right, here's the thing now. Your changes for better talks about the Five of Wands, which makes me know that a lot of this resolve that's in you has a lot to do with the situation that you left, right? There's some tensions with this person, and you're gonna have to work out use that kind of strong brain power. And also what's hidden beneath is like this King of Cups, right? So you have all these things, these feelings for this person. I think the feeling part is a little bit more hidden and a little bit more unsure, but you do have the resolve. And so I think the changes for better, the advice is saying there are some issues between the two of you, and one, you both need each other to kind of I know that sounds kind of obvious that you need each other, but you do. You know, you need cooperation, you need participation in the emotional building of this situation between you. It cannot be ego doesn't really have a place in this, and I'm just saying that because these cards are quite strong. King of Wands, King of Swords, and the King of Cups is the one that's hidden. It's the idea that, okay, I've decided I'm gonna do this, and you know, you want this outcome, and sometimes it doesn't quite work like that, depending on who you're dealing with. I see an Empress here in the deck, and it doesn't always work like that with an Empress. You know, that Empress has her own kind of track, her own path, and even though you're showing a lot of the possibilities of being resolved enough to kind of partner with this person, to connect with this person that you clearly value a lot, this situation between you has to be taken apart together in relation to each other. It's not it doesn't need blame, it doesn't need any kind of hierarchy. You are both participating in this. So that's what I have for you, Aries. I'm gonna move on to Leo. All right, so Leo, you have an interesting set of cards. There is something here that you are identifying as exciting, interesting, worthy of your attention, and it does feel like, you know, at this point you might want to invest. Something is, there's something here that's pointing to wanting to get to a place of actually pausing, waiting on something. It's quite counter to the first energy. It's like there's an impulse to act. Someone is quite exciting to you. It feels like there is it feels like right now, Leos, you could be quite social. You know, you could be doing your thing, going out, you know, dating, friends, all of that is happening, and that's feeding into that kind of like fire energy, right? That's kind of fueling you. But I almost feel like with the Knight of Wands that's not sustainable. I think you know it's not sustainable in the long run. There's something here that it seems to be pointing to a shift. So how I kind of put that into phrasing is, let's say you're dating a lot of people, or you're just like, you know, regularly dating, and that is bringing you a lot of energy and excitement and just like life energy. But it just feels like getting to a point where you're saying, okay, I actually think that I'm ready to invest in someone. So it feels like there's nothing here about commitment. Okay, we are seeing 2 of Cups with the 6 of Cups. Ooh, okay, Leo, I kind of feel like you found a person that is triggering the need or the feeling to invest in them. I kind of feel like that's what is happening here, because all of a sudden we're seeing like 6 of Cups, 2 of Cups. It kind of feels like meeting someone who is like a soul connection here, or even going through our process and then finding, like, I keep thinking about this person from the past. That kind of feels like what's happening. 9 of Swords is your changes for better. I kind of think that this is a little bit concerning to you, because that wasn't the trajectory that you were on or you were planning for. Is kind of what I'm seeing. You weren't planning for it, but something's caused you to kind of pause, and it is making you a little bit anxious, even though the thoughts are overtaking you to kind of address this, think about this. Your changes for better is how to work on these feelings of anxiety. Yeah, how to, I think, give yourself time to work through what exactly is concerning you. And this snake energy, you can see the snake in the sphere above this head here on the 9 of Swords card. It feels like a fear of deceit, a fear of, can I trust this situation? Because it does feel like the life you're living now may be a way of escaping what feels like commitment or partnership that could be vulnerable. And so that's something to kind of think about. What makes me nervous? Because I do see that this person or this situation is coming back up. It's almost like wanting to suppress it, but it's not possible. So this is what I have for you, Leo. I wish you the best, and we're going to move on to Sagittarius now. Okay, Sagittarius, this is your message. Okay, so 10 of Cups is the main energy, and second is 8 of Wands. Now that is some serious kind of resolve to move in the direction. It's like knowing what, I don't even think it's knowing, it's just like being at a place where what you have on your mind is just to be happy in life. You want to move to a state of being happy. I think your intuition, your internal self is pulling you in a particular path. And I think that is the thought that fills your mind, your heart all the time. What if I could just be happy? Or I just want to take actions that will make me happy right now. Maybe it's identifying what that is. Kind of feels like whenever I see the 10 of Cups, kind of makes me feel like we're questioning what is the thing that would make us happy, and now we're going to take some actions on it. Okay, and with the 8 of Wands, that kind of confirms that motion. Do you see how that sun is kind of moving in a direction all the way to the right, and then we get to the Tower on the right hand side, where that's your changes for better, right? That is in order to get to this place, you're going to have to know that there's going to be some shakeups in what happens to you, for you in your life. Because it feels like this 10 of Cups is hard fought for and hard won. So for you to even take the steps towards the 10 of Cups, it is uprooting some things, right? That you're going to uproot home or family or something that's already kind of set in place or feels set in stone. And that's kind of the energy of the Tower. It's like moving. Lightning strikes, you get this shock, you realize that you can't continue living life the same way, and then you start taking the path to where you want to be. And you're gonna be feeling like you're getting a lot of intuitive hits right now. You might not recognize that, but with the Knight of Cups, it feels like I'm feeling all this kind of sensation of like love energy, like I know what I want. I'm feeling quite I'm romanticizing people and things and places. So this is what I have for you, Sagittarius. It feels like it's time to walk that path, and I'm sure you're gonna get there. Just be prepared. So take care all. This has been the reading for all 12 zodiac signs, and do let me know what you thought about it, if it resonated, and yeah, anything else you want to put in the comments that's relevant to this reading. All right, so take care, all the best.